You started working, we have seen, with cell biology, but somehow you ended up working with bioenergetics. So our first question is how was that changing and why did it happen?
The change was much bigger. I started with marine biology, not even with cell biology, but comparative physiology. So my first project as a student was in Bermuda, on a sandy beach of Bermuda,
How cool.
working with nematodes, hypoxia in the sand beach. Then I went on to comparative physiology, study animal anaerobiosis, work without oxygen from worms to marine mussels. And in one publication, I compared the energetics of marine mussels with skeletal mussels, from mussels to mussels. So a wide comparative approach to study metabolism at the extremes of life without oxygen and at life at highest power, skeletal muscle. Well, I should have probably gone to bird muscle already. So the wide field of comparative physiology then brought me, always with an energetics point of view, aerobic, anaerobic metabolism, brought me to the mitochondria, and not necessarily to strictly aerobic mitochondria, but again to mitochondrial function at the edge of hypoxia, anoxia. And that's actually where the instrumental development started for me, with not the instrumental development for me in general, because I was already doing my PhD developing respirometers for animal respiration under hypoxia. And then I realized for mitochondrial studies, there was no instrument that allowed me to measure mitochondrial metabolism, mitochondrial oxygen consumption in the transition from aerobic to anaerobic energy turnover, and oxygen kinetics was just not accessible of mitochondria, isolated mitochondria, with conventional instruments. So that was the start of the Ouroboros O2K.
Yeah, that was actually our next question.
Yes.
How the idea...
So
That's okay.
No problem. How the idea of the creation of the Ouroboros came, but now the second part of the question was how the idea of creating a company happened. This one you can answer.
Well, that is really a story way, way, way back. So during my PhD, I had the task to develop an instrument to measure anaerobic metabolism, not in mitochondria, but in fish eggs and worms, or in zooplankton, the Daphnia or Cyclops, freshwater zooplankton, to measure hypoxic metabolism and anaerobic metabolism, even at the lake temperature in our alpine lakes. I aimed at 4 degrees, but that was it. So I reached 6 degrees in a flow-through respirometer coupled to a microcalorimeter measuring indirect and direct calorimetry at the same time. So when we, so there was a little team already with electronics, with mechanics, with 8 workshops. We could really do the tooling ourselves. We built our own electronics, and then I had the first digital display. And everything was analog at that time. And a colleague from the medical school came by and said, "Oh, that looks great." And I said, "It looks great, but it doesn't work." I said, "Doesn't matter. I want to buy it." So I sold one piece, which didn't work, and it was very obvious. I think I just wanted to pay it somewhere. And by that, I could produce 2 new ones, which then did work. So that was giving me the idea. If I maybe not sell things that don't work, certainly not. But if I can just duplicate something that I need for myself, and I need it, sharing it by getting some money here and giving some technology there. And it was really the spirit of feedback, others who need this equipment as well. It was not a company thing. Our first oxygon I told you before the oxygraph, I had other instruments on a semi-professional way, but the first oxygraph was 25 years ago. So a very slow learning curve.
Yeah.
The first 10 years we had only 67 or 68 instruments in 10 years. Now it's more than 100 instruments per year.
Oh my God.
So this was 10 years, very slow, and still 15 years ago we had the new version of the O2K, and it was a very gradual increase from selling a few instruments per year, which was almost nothing. But it was big already for me. I mean, yes, it works, one can put it into other labs, but that was only France. And now, over 25 years, as the learning curve, where this synergy between building a larger and larger network, what we have is a huge scientific network. Our customers are considered by our team as a network of scientists. So if I think of the Antonio Gallina lab,
Yeah.
we are networking through the science with the instruments being like a catalyst. It helps us.
Yeah, I was going to tell this. I think it's really...
The instrument is not the end product. The instrument is like an enzyme that produces something. So what we produce is good science, quality, high quality of science in an international network. And if you think of a team as a network, well, our team is global. And we reach so much more in mitochondrial biogenetics, mitochondrial physiology, by having now this global network. More than 500 laboratories being on our website as O2K network laboratories. That doesn't mean that we are not also competitors, we are in terms of science. But competition is something like in sport, something very positive, if it is still team sports. That's what the idea of gentle science is, that it's high quality, it's collaboration, it's communication, it's sharing, and it's reaching more than you can in your own little world.
So, Professor, I think that's all. Thank you so much. Really, thank you so much for the opportunity. Was such a pleasure talking to you, and we really admire your work and the way you deal with science. It's this idea of everyone connected. It's really nice. And it's such an inspiration, not just for us who are beginning, but I think to the entire world. We all think that we have to make science for the world and not just for ourselves. So it's really cool to know that you are spreading this idea on the world and spreading this idea for the youngers like us who are starting. Thank you so much for being such an example.
Well, my thanks goes to you, because not only in biogenetics we need mitochondrial energy, but we need personal energies. And your feedback, that is where energy comes from. So thank you very much. And I want to give you the feedback with wishing you the greatest luck in an area which should keep you excited, successful, tough. It's not always easy, but enjoy at its best. Hope you will enjoy your next steps. Looking forward to seeing you at the next MIP school.
That's right.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Professor.
much,
Great
Professor.
things
Thank you.
to the whole
Bye.
team.
Bye.
Bye-bye.